This is HaShulchan here. There, Simon Mem Aleph, Sif Chav Hey to Chav Ches. This is Supplemental Day 301 of the HaShulchan Yomi, and today's HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored for a merit for the right zivug for Rabbi Yonasan Ezra ben Chaim, and you should find it speedily. Okay, so yesterday we said we're going to talk today about which orientation the needle is taking inside the liver. So it says in Chav Hey, according to both opinions, it's when specifically about when the needle is lengthwise, to the length of the liver. But it's to the width of the liver, and the eye of the needle and the sharp point of the needle, pointing of the side bima are going towards the sides of the animal, straight no matter what. This is a clear-cut simon that it came through the veshet, through the esophagus, and it pierced through the side of the liver. That's why it's widthwise. If it came through the trachea, had to make this 90-degree turn. Who turned this way? It certainly came through the esophagus. You should know the sheishi is going both means doesn't mean it's whether the needle is found in the whole liver or a piece of liver after you cut it, I guess. Those who want to make a distinction, and his words are rejected, and says look at the base Yosef. So after all of this discussion, we already said we're not expert to distinguish between thin needles and thick needles. Only if the eye needle is huge, like the pit of a date. And then you can talk about it having the din of the eye of the needle, which is not suitable to pierce. That's the tour. Verily, the Machlin Shalanu, it says, I think that our needle, spilka, one side is pointy, the other side is agolus, round. Because if the eye is not suitable to pierce, even if it's not as large as a date pit, that also has the same parameter. The shear of the size of date pit, they wrote even if it's not round, it's still not going to pierce. As Barak says, that's what he thinks that's what he thinks it should be. But Uladina, he says, and terms of practical halacha, ain't have to be done. There's no difference for us. It's fake shalshitas b'kubla b'aragab because of all the questions which we have in the opinions of the which way is the bar, which is gav up or down, like we said. If you find the needle in the large vessel, the large tube of the liver, which is the tube of the branch of the blood vessel, which enters it. Also you find in the tube, the large tube which goes along, it's kosher no matter what, according to all opinions. Even if it's found in a piece of the liver, or a piece of the lung. And this reason is it's no concern that came through the veshet, because the only way to get it is through the kana. Again, I don't know if that works according to modern biology. I guess maybe because there are thin membranes between the trachea and the kanim. I guess. There's no concern that came through the esophagus. How to get into this tube? Must come to the trachea. And so he said the trachea and the tube going to the liver are adjacent to each other, when they divide up next to the lung. Also the tube of the heart and the tube of the liver. They divide up into small tubes on one side. They say it came from the tubes of the liver to the symphonic kana kaved and into the tubes of the branch of the liver, which also kaved and went into the liver there exposed through these smaller tubes. It's Rashi that test. She just Rif Nami Ein Chashash. According to Rif, who the needle according to the other direction, there's no concern. Since it's a broad area, we're not concerned that there's a hole. Whether the eye is towards the outside, towards the inside, doesn't matter. But shot, share its caution. Chav Zayin. Chasva Goyim. Goyim right should tarpash hakaved, the diaphragm of the liver. Shenike nekem afulosh, which has a hole through. Treifa, its treif, and a treif is inside atzmo. The treif is not intrinsic to that. But since the diaphragm liver is pierced, so called coverage is kalka. Eventually, the entire liver will become ruined. But suddenly, eventually, it's going to be removed. If it's already moved now, it's vush. This is the Masorah they're going to have. Shas always go true for zoo. Even this is despite the fact that the Gemara doesn't mention a trephus of hole in the tarpash. So he says, well, that's because it's not an intrinsic trephus. Says look at Daf Mem Ches. Also, it's not like all the trephus. Because there is I guess there is a closure which is effective for this. Mosircha, such as the adhesion, or chel of tummy, or treif chela, k'mosh yizbar, chen lo chashuv shas. That's why Shas does not mention it. It's be chadash and for sure. Okay. That's what do we say here? Kav ches. V'zel shon ve'er b'seif siv ches. As Beis says, Nikev tarpash hakaved, if the diaphragm liver is pierced, nekam and foolish, a hole which goes through, mitzad hakaved, from the side of the liver, treifa, it's treif. Nisucha b'sircha, but if it is adheres with an adhesion, with the tzala to the rib, shera, and the Mordechai, the name of the goyim, says a similar thing. What does it mean it's pierced? If it's pierced through, what do you mean it's pierced through from the side of the liver? So those who say it's the treif is not a count of the liver. It's not intrinsic, like I said before. Some who say it's because the diaphragm is opposite the liver. Also goes beyond the liver. The hole is not a problem. Only that which is opposite the liver. The don't not agree with this. For those who wrote that, it's a typo. But this is what primarily means. The bala might also it comes to preclude that part of the chatzer kaved. I think is a synonym for the tarpash kaved of the diaphragm liver. Shapars al which extends and is spread on the wall of the animal. Because there the wall of the animal covers the hole, even though it doesn't enter the hole. That's the task. The hole is only a problem, part of the diaphragm, which is suspended in space. And the great Arukh agree with this. This is the primary halacha, and that is it for today.